What if the greatest answers to our present crises lie not in our past, but in a future we can barely imagine? And what sacrifices would you make to glimpse that tomorrow, even if it holds a truth more terrifying than any nightmare? The promise of the future. The year is 2072. The world, as we knew it, was a symphony of alarms. Climate change had shifted from a distant threat to a daily reality, painting our skies with perpetual smog and our maps with vanished coastlines. Overpopulation strained every resource, turning once vibrant cities into sprawling, suffocating megastructures. Social divisions, amplified by unchecked digital echo chambers, festered into open wounds. Humanity, brilliant in its technological ascent, seemed to be stumbling, blindfolded, towards an inevitable precipice. In the heart of this chaos, amidst the gleaming spires of what was once Seattle, stood the Kronos Institute. And at its core was Dr. Olivia Hayes. Olivia, a physicist and engineer of unparalleled brilliance, was not just seeking answers, she was desperately seeking salvation. Her idealism, a rare commodity in a cynical world, burned with an almost feverish intensity. She believed that humanity's greatest mistakes could be undone, or at least understood, by observing their long-term consequences. Her life's work, a project whispered about in hushed tones even within the scientific community, was the construction of a temporal displacement unit, a time machine. "We can't just fix the symptoms, Ben," she'd often argue with her colleague, Dr. Ben Carter, a pragmatic and brilliant astrophysicist. "We need to understand the disease itself. What became of us? Did we survive? Did we evolve beyond our self-destructive nature?" Ben, a man of empirical data and cautious optimism, supported her, but his skepticism was a constant, grounding force. "A machine, Olivia, can only take you to a destination. It cannot guarantee the answers you seek, nor can it prevent the future from being what it is." His words, though meant as a warning, only fueled her resolve. The Kronos sphere, as they called it, was a marvel of minimalist design and quantum engineering. Not a clunky contraption of brass and cogs, but a sleek, iridescent orb of interwoven quantum filaments, barely large enough for one person. Its interior hummed with barely contained energy, a kaleidoscope of shifting light. It was designed not for physical comfort, but for temporal precision. Olivia had poured 2 decades of her life, every waking thought, every ounce of her dwindling grant money, into its creation. The day of the first jump arrived with a nervous energy that vibrated through the institute. Outside, the sky was a familiar, hazy gray. Inside, the air was thick with anticipation. Ben, his face pale but determined, ran the final diagnostics. "All systems nominal, Olivia. Are you absolutely certain about this?" Olivia, dressed in a simple, durable jumpsuit, her eyes alight with a mix of fear and fervent hope, nodded. "Certain as I can be, Ben. If there's a solution, a different path, it's out there. Or perhaps a warning we desperately need." She stepped into the sphere, the iridescent filaments closing around her, the hum intensifying to a low roar. With a flash of blinding light and a sensation like being stretched across eternity, she was gone. Her destination, 500,000 years into the future. She hoped to find a utopia, or at least a humanity that had overcome its current challenges. What she found was far more complex and terrifying. The divergent paths of humanity. Imagine a future where humanity has split, not by war or ideology, but by the very essence of its being. What would that look like? And what hidden price would such a solution demand? The landing was jarring, a violent shudder that threw Olivia against the sphere's interior. When the light subsided, she found herself in a world that was at once breathtakingly beautiful and eerily silent. The air was crisp, clean, carrying the scent of damp earth and unfamiliar blossoms. Towering, ancient trees, unlike anything she had ever seen, pierced a sky of brilliant, unblemished blue. The sprawling megacities of her time were gone, replaced by verdant plains and colossal, vine-covered ruins that hinted at a forgotten past. Nature had reclaimed the earth, but it was a nature that felt managed. Her first encounter was with the Keepers of Harmony. They emerged from the lush foliage, their movements graceful, almost ethereal. They were human in form, but their skin had a translucent, almost pearlescent quality, and their eyes, large and dark, held a serene, almost vacant innocence. They wore simple, flowing garments woven from natural fibers. Lily, a young keeper, approached Olivia with a gentle curiosity, her voice a soft, melodic whisper. "Welcome, traveler. The cycles are balanced. Harmony prevails." Olivia spent weeks among them, observing. The keepers lived in small, idyllic communities, nestled within giant, crystalline structures that seemed to grow organically from the earth. Their lives were a rhythm of simple tasks, tending to luminous gardens, gathering iridescent fruits, and engaging in repetitive, almost meditative dances. They seemed perpetually content, devoid of conflict, ambition, or even complex emotions. Their days were rigidly structured, dictated by unseen forces, yet they moved through them with a childlike joy. They possessed no advanced technology, no art beyond simple patterns, no deep intellectual curiosity. Their harmony was a profound intellectual and emotional stagnation, a state of blissful ignorance maintained by an unseen hand. They were physically delicate, almost fragile, their bodies adapted to a life of minimal exertion. Olivia noticed their dependence on automated systems, unseen drones that delivered sustenance, glowing pathways that guided their movements, systems they clearly did not comprehend. But where does such perfect harmony come from? And what lies beneath the surface of a world too beautiful to be true? Driven by a scientist's insatiable curiosity and a growing unease about the keeper's unsettling simplicity, Olivia sought answers. Her investigations led her to discover the existence of the Forgers of Order. They lived in vast subterranean cities, colossal complexes of gleaming metal and pulsating light, hidden beneath the transformed surface. Their existence was a stark contrast to the keeper's pastoral life. The Forgers were the descendants who had embraced technology to its extreme. Their bodies were augmented with subtle cybernetic implants, their minds connected to vast neural networks. They were intellectually superior, driven by cold logic and an insatiable pursuit of knowledge and control. Their cities were masterpieces of engineering, self-sustaining ecosystems where every aspect of life was optimized, every resource meticulously managed. They had achieved a form of digital immortality, their consciousnesses transferable and preserved. Olivia eventually made contact with director Arthur Sterling, the stoic and formidable leader of one of the largest Forger enclaves. Sterling was a man of sharp, analytical intellect, his eyes cold and devoid of warmth. He spoke in precise, measured tones, his every word conveying absolute authority. He viewed Olivia with a detached curiosity, an anomaly from a primitive past. "You seek solutions, traveler," he stated, his voice a synthesized calm. "We are the solution. We are the architects of true order." She also encountered Commander Liam Davies, a younger, more outwardly curious Forger scientist, who seemed to harbor a subtle flicker of doubt beneath his logical exterior. Liam was responsible for monitoring the surface world and the Keepers of Harmony. He became Olivia's reluctant guide through the Forger's chillingly efficient society. The truth of the symbiotic relationship between the two factions was slowly revealed, piece by horrifying piece. The Keepers of Harmony were not merely living in idyllic ignorance. They were a meticulously managed resource. Their biological processes, their very existence, generated a unique form of bioenergy that fueled the Forger's vast underground cities. Their simple, contented lives on the surface maintained the delicate, ecological balance of the planet, ensuring a sustainable environment for the Forger's hidden existence. The Forgers, in turn, provided the Keepers with their automated sustenance, their crystalline dwellings, and the illusion of a perfect, peaceful life. They were a carefully cultivated human garden, a living battery that ensured the Forger's endless pursuit of technological perfection. But what is the true cost of such an engineered existence? And can humanity ever truly escape its own nature or merely transform it into something new and terrifying? Olivia witnessed the chilling efficiency of the Forgers. Their society was a meritocracy of intellect, where emotions were suppressed as inefficient variables. They had eliminated disease, scarcity, and conflict, but at the cost of individuality, creativity, and genuine human connection. Their order was a cold, sterile perfection, maintained by constant surveillance and subtle manipulation. Commander Liam Davies, in a moment of rare vulnerability, showed Olivia historical archives, records of the Great Divergence, the point in humanity's past when the decision was made to split the species, to create two distinct paths to survival. One path embraced radical simplification and biological energy generation. The other embraced extreme technological augmentation and intellectual dominance. It was a planned evolution, designed to save humanity from its self-destructive tendencies, but it had resulted in a future far more alien than Olivia could have imagined. The legacy and the choice. When faced with a future born of our own choices, a future both beautiful and monstrous, what path would you choose? To intervene, to warn, or to accept the inevitable? The shocking revelation about the origin of the two factions solidified Olivia's dread. The Great Divergence wasn't an accidental split. It was a deliberate, calculated decision made by a desperate scientific elite in her own time, a last-ditch effort to save humanity from itself. They had engineered the Keepers for passive sustainability and the Forgers for intellectual preservation, believing this dual path was the only way to ensure the species' long-term survival. The harmony of the Keepers was a manufactured contentment, their minds subtly suppressed to prevent complex thought and rebellion. The order of the Forgers was a cold, emotionless existence, their humanity sacrificed for pure logic and efficiency. Olivia faced a profound, moral dilemma. Should she intervene? Attempt to correct this future, knowing that any alteration could have catastrophic, unforeseen consequences? Could she truly judge a survival strategy, however chilling, that had allowed humanity to persist for 500,000 years? Or should she return to her own time with the terrible truth, a stark warning that might, just might, compel humanity to change its course before this grim future became their own? Commander Liam Davies, witnessing Olivia's anguish, revealed his own quiet dissent. He had begun to question the Forgers' cold logic, sensing a hollowness in their perfected existence. He believed the Great Divergence had been a mistake, a sacrifice of humanity's soul for its survival. He offered Olivia a chance to witness the ultimate consequence of this path, a final, terrifying glimpse into the far, far future, beyond even the Forgers' understanding. With Liam's help, Olivia made a final, desperate jump. Not to a specific year, but to the very edge of time, to the dying gasp of the solar system. What she witnessed was not a thriving utopia, nor a desolate wasteland, but something far more profound and unsettling. The sun, a bloated red giant, filled the sky. The earth was a barren, lifeless rock, but in the void, she perceived faint, shimmering patterns of light. The collective consciousness of the Forgers, having transcended physical form entirely, existing as pure data, drifting through the cosmos. And among them, almost imperceptibly, were the faint, rhythmic pulses of the Keeper's bioenergy, still feeding this ultimate, ethereal existence. It was survival, yes, but at what cost? A species reduced to a disembodied thought, a legacy of pure, cold logic, utterly devoid of the messy, beautiful, contradictory essence of what it meant to be human. The journey back was a blur of quantum fluctuations and existential dread. Olivia returned to her own time, the Chronos sphere humming its final, exhausted breaths. She emerged, not with a technological blueprint for salvation, but with a message, urgent and somber, etched onto her very soul. The world of 2072 was still teetering on the brink. Dr. Ben Carter rushed to her side, his face a mixture of relief and concern. "Olivia! You're back! What did you find? Did you find a solution?" Olivia looked at him, her eyes holding the weight of 500,000 years of human evolution. "A solution?" she whispered, her voice hoarse. "I found a legacy, Ben. A legacy born of our choices. We can survive, yes. But the question isn't if we survive, it's how. What parts of ourselves are we willing to sacrifice for progress? What kind of future are we truly building?" The chronosphere, its mission complete, flickered once, then dissolved into a pile of inert dust. Olivia Hayes, the time traveler, was now the messenger. The future was not a fixed destination, but a consequence of the present. The question was no longer, can we travel through time, but can we change who we are before it's too late? Can we truly choose a different legacy? The weight of that choice, the tomorrow's legacy, now rested squarely on humanity's shoulders. What do you believe is the most critical choice humanity faces today to avoid such a future? And if you could send one message back from the distant future, what would it be?
That's it, folks. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of English, please subscribe to EnglishTaleBox for more captivating narratives and language insights. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to share this video with anyone who loves a good story or is learning English. Thank you for watching.